Hey, this is going to be Tuesday, November 17th. Let's see, we're going through this stuff now. The story homework is due tomorrow. We're going to talk about that in a moment. You can still buy the suckers before and after class. 7 Elements speech is a homework we're getting ready to do together. There's a bell work, which you're going to get here a chance to do in a moment also. By the way, this has been sitting in my room for the last several days. If you're at home and you see it, or people here, apparently not. Just trying to find out who it belongs to. It is not Leah Ricosi's, in case you thought. She has the same one, but she has hers, so it's not hers. Apparently it's someone else's. All right, and then this is what you're doing for the bell work. For those of you on the home version, you're going to need to pause it, the little button down there, and you're just copying down these notes. It's going to do with the thing we're going to be doing coming up. So all you have to do is just blah, blah, blah. You're writing down those things exactly. It says exposition, dialogue, and narration that sets up the story by introducing the characters and their situations. Rising action, the events in the story that lead to a big turning point in the action. Climax, the moment of greatest intensity of the story, comes at the end of the rising action. Falling action, the part of the plot when the story begins to draw to a close. It comes after the climax, before the resolution. And resolution, the point at the end of the falling action, in which the conflict is resolved. That's all you have to do is copy that down for now, and then you'll be good to go. It'll make more sense here coming up. For those of you here, below that, here's what I'm going to have you do. You're going to draw a little mountain, or a little hill, as it may be for you. Because that's why it was called Story Mountain, is because all this sort of plays into this mountain-looking thing to sort of help you out. Those of you who have seen Story Mountain before, you may have already done this on your paper, but go you. To help you out, here's how, oh, by the way, if you're at home, you should hit play now so it keeps going. So if you're at home, here's how it works with Story Mountain. At the beginning of the story, this is the flat, boring part. Which part of the Story Mountain is it? Exposition. And then we have the part where it's going up and getting more exciting, and this is the rising action. And then you get to the toppy bits, and this is
Climax.
and then we have where it starts to come back down again,
Falling action.
and the very endy bits.
Resolution.
So essentially how thick it is how interesting the story is. So you're starting along, you're like, not interesting at all, boring beginning stuff as it goes along, and then all of a sudden it starts getting all meaty and interesting, and your interest meter goes up, and you're like, tick it, tick it, tick it, tick it, tick it, and then you get to the climax, and you're like, oh my god, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can't get better than that, so then it starts coming back down again, blogga, 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 and then you get to the very end of it, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to the next book, and you get to the very end of it from there. And that's sort of how your interest meter goes throughout the entire story, book, stuff like that. That is Story Mountain. Questions over that part? We are then not done with notebooks. We're going to need to put homework in a moment. You can just slide it to the side. Speaking of homework, this is the homework that is due tomorrow. Allow me to explain it to you again. If you got a 23 or higher on the quiz, you get to do option number 3. Option 3 is where you have to bring tape with you tomorrow, and I'm going to show you how to properly tape it in. You're going to officially join the tape club and stuff like that. If you don't have tape tomorrow, you can join the tape club the next time we have homework, or the next time we have homework. But you have to have the tape with you to be in the club in order to actually do option number 3. All you'll have to do on that one is literally, we're just going to put date, title, and you're just going to tape it in with 4 pieces of tape, and then you are good to go, and that's all there is to it. If you're not doing option 3, you're welcome to do option 1 or option 2. Option 1, you're just answering questions. There's 12 questions on there. By the way, this is the regular class screen, so in case you're getting confused looking at it, yours looks different than that. I just didn't want to have to put 2 different screens up there to save my time. So you're going to go through there 12 questions, and then you're going to have to answer 10 of those 12 questions using complete sentences. If you do all 12, it does get you an extra B point. Not extra credit, but extra B point. Or option 2. Most kids who do option 2 get a 0 on the homework. The reason being, it requires you to read directions. Most kids are awful at reading directions. They're just going to go, I'm going to wing it and guess my way through. And I look at it and go, well, you don't have 6 words in each line. And they go, you're supposed to? And I go, directions. And you go, winging. And I'm going to go, oh, you didn't. So once again, make sure you follow the directions. It should be about the 3 stories listed. You make sure you use those letters. Make sure you follow directions. You're good to go. You can do more than one option. It does get you extra B points. So if you do option 1 and option 2, that gets you extra B points. If you have to go on to the next page, you just go on to the next homework page. What could I possibly have not answered? Hopkins.
I didn't hear what you have to get for the option 3.
That's why it's in the directions. Yes, Tate.
So I
failed the test miserably. I missed 2 questions.
Brag about weird stuff.
And can I pre-join the tape club?
Yeah. If you already want to bring your tape tomorrow, you can go ahead, even though you're not taping it in, that's fine with me. You're showing responsibility. I'll highlight your name on my thing that tells me that you're part of the club. We'll go ahead and get your tape set up, and then someday you'll get to join the club, and things will be great. Casper.
So we have to get a 21 or higher?
No, 23 or higher. That's why I kept saying 23.
But it says
Yeah, that's the regular class. You're not regular. You can drop out of this class and go to regular if you like. But they do different stuff, so they get an easier quiz. For you guys, you're smarter than that, so you get the tougher one. At any time you let me know that you'd like to drop out, I'll make that dream happen. Any other questions? Not of school altogether. All right. Then, we're good to go on homework-wise. Then, turn to today's homework. And here's what we're going to copy down for today's homework. I realize that as useful as this is, I'm going to make you memorize the 7 elements. And you're going to memorize the 7 definitions. And you're also going to memorize a hand motion, or gang sign, as third period like to call them, for each one. Then, I'm going to give you B points for knowing all 7 of them, because you're going to stand up and give it to as a speech in the rest of the class. Each day, starting tomorrow, I'm going to randomly pick 2 to 3 kids. And of those 2 to 3 kids, you're going to stand up, do this. I'm going to give you B points for knowing how it works. So what you're doing now is copying down those 7 things. Characters, setting, plot, point of view, theme, internal conflict, external conflict. The next thing is, we're going to write a really short definition that makes it easy for you to memorize. Then, you're going to be writing down a hand sign that I'm going to be showing you that you're also going to have to memorize. And then we're going to practice doing it together, because I'm going to show you how to be able to get B points by knowing these 7 elements and making your life better. That way, if you get confused when it comes time for like a quiz or a test or a homework, and you go, Mr. Brovicast, what's a setting? I don't have to tell you. I can just give you the hand sign. You're like, and you're like, oh, I remember. I'm like, I know, because you're smart. We get a chance to bond, and life is good. So now, as you're in the process of writing things down, let's help you out. The first one, Malia, characters. What is our definition of characters? To make it even simpler, we're just going to go for who in the story. Characters should be the who is in the story. For our hand sign for this one, I figured to make it easy on you, we are going to simply point to the nearest characters to you. Like the ones in the books? No, there are even closer characters than that. They're all around you. So what you're just going to do is point to all these characters that are around you. So it's going to be like this. Characters. Who is in the story? And you're going to point to all of these characters. Because trust me, they are a bunch of characters. I deal with them every day. Except for Sundays. Twice on Saturdays. Just seeing who's paying attention. Then, jumping to setting, Talbot. It's like a robot. Setting, there's 2 parts to it, Talbot. And what are the 2 parts?
Where the story takes place and when the story takes place.
Nicely done. By the way, this is where those notes come in handy. My goal, though, is those notes are like your training wheels. And I've been having you guys running along next to you, like Big Papa Brovicast, with my little hand on your back, and like, I got it, I got it. In a moment, I'm getting ready to reach down and grab the training wheels and just yank them right off. Then I'm going to push you down a hill. You're like, ah! You're going to go flying down it, because you're not going to need those training wheels anymore. You're going to be big kids, or you're going to get hit by a truck. One or the other, we're going to get to a solution to help you out. So for the setting, on the when and where, I tried to come up with a hand sign I thought would help you guys out on this one. I thought about like pointing at the ground, but I wasn't sure that would just like confuse you guys more. But I figured there is a time-telling device that some responsibly will carry with them all the time. Is it a phone? No, that you use that to check Snapchat. There's another time. Is it my iPad? No, you use that to avoid stuff in math class. Is the thing on your wrist? So you're just going to point to wristy thing. Or you can point to the thing on wall. But half of you guys can't read that anyway, and you think it's like a special picture. You can't actually tell that time actually happens on that thing because #kids are special. So you can either point at watch, or for those of you who recognize that is a clock, you're welcome to point to clock also. For some of you who don't realize that's a clock, you can just point to a random thing on the wall because it means just as much to you. You have as much chance of telling the time on that as you do as pointing to like the Spider-Man picture. It feels like you're making fun. It's because I'm making fun of you. Because the number of kids who can't read those clocks frightens me. You don't have to volunteer. I know you can't read it. It's okay.
What? Wait, how did you
People want to read it.
Ah, come on, Ambulance. Funny how I make fun of kids. What's up?
So, you said you can't watch, but if you don't have to watch, when it's someone's watch?
Sure, or you can just make believe.
Oh, okay. You could
Grand Heart.
I was doing homework today.
Because some kids are staring at the wall not doing it.
What?
Never underestimate the ability of a slow child. There's some kids like, what? Kids are doing it. Yeah, I'm like, it's okay. Plot! Tickleton! What do we say for plot?
What happens
Nice
in
one.
the story?
I think. Just what happens. See, we're going to simplify it even more. Training wheels, big truck is coming. So on this one, for plot, just what happens. That's all I need from you. For the hand sign on this one, it was inspired by kids. Because I realized oftentimes when I asked kids what the plot was, they gave me the same reaction every time. I see some of you guys already know this one because apparently you think I'm getting ready to ask you what the answer is. And you're like, Mr. Brovicast, I already don't know. It could be anything. Literally, what? Oh, I get it. Exactly. So that's exactly what you're going to be doing. And when it comes to plot, you're just going to go, plot. What happens? Because I don't know. It requires paying attention. I don't even know who you are. This, which is different than this, that's a teapot. You tip it over and dump it out.
What?
It's a different gang sign. If you're on the street and you see a guy doing this, you just straight up fucking point of view on y'all are special. Point of view journey. What is going to be our definition that we should use for point of view that makes sense? Works for me. How we see the story. For our point of view here on how we see the story, I figured hand sign is right there in the name, point of view. It's got pointing and it's got viewing. And the only problem with this is don't injure yourself. Because I've had kids who sometimes get a little hyper and eager with their pointing at the viewing. Yeah, that's why some of you guys might have to have like your safety goggles on while you're doing this. Like Diddy, good job. And so on that case, when you have your point of view, you're going to pointing and the viewing. Just be careful. So you might need to just practice like that a couple times to judge your distance. So you're not going yoinky. You're like, I'm blind from learning. So once again, point of view, pointing, point of view, how we see the story. If you feel the need to do a different version, that's fine. I've had kids who do like the eye cover one, or who do goggle eye ones. I'm not judgy. You're more than welcome to do those. Just realize that my, sorry, I got choked up. My learning one is going to be the pointing and the viewing. If I then do that and you do a hand sign back of this, I'm okay with that. That's your own special thing. If it works for your brain, that's fine. Your brain might be special. Robinson, for theme. What is it we're going to have for our definition of theme?
The main idea in the story?
I'm going to change it a little bit to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to switch it to thing we learn. The thing that tends to make things a bit easier. So on theme, I'm going to go with what we learn. Whether that is you should never pet a wild turtle, or don't throw hot water on your younger brother, or whatever your particular learning thing might be, is going to go with the what we learn. Where is it that learning happens in the body?
The
Nicely done. What letter does learning start with? So we're going to help people out when we get to theme. You're just going to tell people theme is what you learn. And learning happens in the head. So hopefully that helps you out from there. See? Apparently some of you guys know the learning dance. Proud of you. So proud. Some of you guys have so much learning that needs to happen. Shalini, with internal conflict. We should be able to define internal conflict with just one word. What is our important one word?
Or
Shalini. Do you know what that one word is? Try to guess. Yes, you used that.
major decision.
That would be 2 words. Good job. I went for decision in the story. I know. Counting is hard. So, major decision in story, or just decision is fine with me. I did more than one. I haven't heard you one. I was trying to make it easier on it. I didn't realize counting was so tough. Casper.
Isn't what we learn, isn't that the moral of the story?
It's the same thing. That's what we learned. So the internal is decision in the story. For our hand sign for this one, I came off of TV shows, movies, anytime they're trying to like demonstrate that a person in the story is trying to make a decision, you'll see them be like, well, this part depends on where your brain's located. So you have different options. For some people who have a brain like located higher, you'll see them being like, what should I do? Should I go after the bad guy or just let him rob that store? And they seem like do scratchy head up here. Others of you, your brain is located in your mouth, which is why your mouth is always open and moving because you have to make sure it gets oxygen, and so you're afraid of dying. And so in that case, you're probably going to scratch your chin because that's closer to where your brain is actually located. You're going to be like, should I be talking right now or should I not? Wait a minute, am I talking while I say that? And so you're going to be scratching your chin. Others of you are just confused. In that case, you're just going to scratch your elbow because you're not really sure what a brain is or how any of this works. And so you're just going to go internal conflict, decision in the story, and you're just going to go, I'm like, nicely done. I'm so proud of you. Me, I'm more of a scratcher up here. Many of you are more down here, and a couple of you are just these kind of people, but we're trying not to judge. Problem free?
So if you scratch your elbow, does that mean you have no brain?
I mean, I'm not saying that out loud.
Well, my brain's in my elbow.
If you have to ask, then I know where you're scratching. And our final one with external conflict, Aquila. On this one, both definition, and I'm also going to ask you, how are we always supposed to say it? Aquila.
A battle between two physical things.
And how are we supposed to say it?
Blank versus blank.
And that's what I'm going to have you guys do here. The something versus something, or blank versus blank, either one's fine. We're going to, for this one, always do it as the something versus something. I think it'll help you remember the difference between external and internal. If we do internal decision, external something versus something, it'll help your brain separate them. Plus, we have that decision-making thing going on. With external conflict, because it's going to be that battle, something versus something, this is where you're always going to get, well, not always, but you're going to get into your fighty stance. Whatever your fighty stance might be. And this is also where we get to discover some of you should never get in a fight in your life. As I'm watching, like, Mr. Crombie, my fighty stance. I'm like, that is not going to last long. That's your I'm going to get beat down stance, but it's okay. Form of attack squirrel. It's not going to be nearly as effective. So that gives you an idea of how this works. In a moment, we're going to practice these together. Then I'm going to make it disappear, and we're going to practice it again. And then tomorrow, we get to start picking on you guys. But don't worry, we're not done with learning yet today. We still have more coming in a moment. All right. Amblin.
So, when we do our
Wording is hard.
when we do our speeches, can we use these things, or do we have to use the brain?
Brain, no paper. You can use the paper, but then you get 0 of the 5 B points. Because the whole B point thing is you're not having to use the paper. Remember, training wheels. You can't be like, can I go down this hill without training wheels with my training wheels on? That's not the way it works. You have to take the training wheels off. So let's practice. We'll come back to your issues in a moment. We're going to practice this together. Notebook, by the way, I'm now done with it. You can now close it and get away. I'm going to do pointy. You're going to do say-y, except for last column. Don't be kid that says the thing in the last column. He's not have to be the teacher that's all angry and throat punches you, which is a metaphor for taking away your points. All right. We have...
Who was in the story?
And then we get done, and you do nicely done. And we have... So special. And...
What happens?
I see that a lot. I know. The small German child's throwing you guys off, but it's fine.
What we learned. Internal conflict.
I do like the delay from me pointing at it, Tig saying it in his German accent, and then the rest of you guys kicking in. Like you're waiting for him to start you off.
External conflict. Something. Don't hurt me.
That explains so much. So now, here's the part where step 1 on taking off training wheels, giving you push. We're going to try it again without the screen up there, and I'm just giving you hand signs. So you're going to show the hand signs back, and then say wordy things, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, we have Wobble, wobble, wobble.
Setting. Where.
Better.
What happens in the story? Point of view. How we see it.
Better. So you got the what we learned, but what element is it? You realize I can hear you. I'm old, not deaf. Speaking of making poor ones of these.
Arena Silver.
Thinking.
And what do you say for internal conflict?
Decision.
And then?
Something versus something.
Nicely done. Alright, so now tomorrow I'll randomly get a chance to pick on some of you, and you're going to stand up. If you can do that, you'll get 5 B points. If you make mistakes, it costs you B points. But here's the bonus. There are stars and globetrotters who are dumber than us, and we're going to try and help bring them up. If you can teach this to a star or a globetrotter and have them come do it for me, you get 5 B points, and they get a shiny monkey treat. Shiny monkey treat. And so you are only limited by the number of friends you have, which means some of you can do this once, others of you can do this a whole bunch of times. If more than one of you teaches it to one kid, you split the points. So if both Amblin and I both teach it to a star, we don't both get 5, we both get 3. And then if 3 people teach it, you both get 2 points and so far, so keep that in mind. They're going to have to come show it to me, like during a passing period or after school or some point. That's up to you to have them come to me. But they have to be able to do it without looking off anything, knowing all the correct words and all the correct hand signs. If they do it correctly, you get 5 B points for it. They get shiny monkey treat. This continues on throughout the end of the year. You get to keep training new people with it. Hopkins.
So we're not all going, right?
Eventually, my goal is to get through almost all of you, but not all of them going on the same day. No.
And is it just for B points or is it?
Correct. Well, B points and embarrassment. I mean, not for a grade, no. Robinson.
What if they mess it up? Do we lose more B points?
I just want to accept it. I said, it doesn't work, try it again, come back tomorrow. So, yeah. And I have some kids like, characters, things that I... Nope, done. I might come back again, star. Yes, Diddy.
What if you don't have any friends?
Then that makes it easy. You're done. Tig.
Can I also have a monkey tree if we do it right?
Yeah, if you'd rather have a monkey treat than 5 B points, absolutely. And you can do the monkey treat instead of the B points, I'm fine with that. Amblin?
What if you either have a very dumb star or any globetrotter, and you have 2 people, and if they're whatever, and they're very stupid, and it takes like a long time?
Then you get no points and you wasted your time.
Okay.
Yay! Like me in teaching. Alright, so, going to this. Take a look at this piece of paper. At the bottom, where I told you we're going to do something different. I'm not making you write really long definitions. We're now going to write my definitions, which are not the ones that are up there. So we're going to write down the different definition. So these are the definitions to make your life a little bit easier. When it comes to exposition, dialogue and narration that sets up the story by introducing the character, blah, 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 this is the stuff at the beginning of the story that's really boring. So we're going to call it boring beginning stuff. So exposition, boring beginning stuff. This way you have to remember this one, makes life a little bit easier on you. Rising action. The events in the story that lead to a big turning point in the action. For me, exciting stuff. This is when the book finally gets exciting. And you're like, oh my god, I just want to keep reading this part. Climax. The moment of greatest intensity in the story comes at the end of the rising action. This is the part of the story where you OMG. You go, oh my god, the main character was an alien the whole time. I had no idea. You're Major Ermagerd. I'm not sure how to spell Ermagerd, so I think it's OMG.
No, it's E.
I think it's spelled an Irma and a Gerd.
No, it's E-H-R.
Following action. The part of the plot where the story begins to draw to a close. The OMG explain. We get to find out why the main character is an alien.
I've been in your country this whole time, and you had no idea. I've been taking you over one place at a time. Like, oh my God, now I understand everything.
Resolution. The point at the end of the following action in which the conflict is resolved. Boring ending stuff. Tomorrow, homework is due, and we're going to have another activity. We're going to come back to this on Thursday. Friday, we have a Socrative quiz where you get to cheat off each other. I just haven't been telling you about it to keep you from freaking out. And then we're good to go. Enjoy life, or whatever kids do nowadays.